I was friends with the weird kid in high school. And let me tell you, she was this really beautiful Eastern European girl. I mean, seriously beautiful. Like a supermodel. And she had a bit of an accent, as her parents were refugees. But she was super f***ing crazy. Not even hot crazy, like actually mentally insane. We were friends in 9th grade because we were in English together. And one day, she turned around and started talking to me about how nervous she was for a dentist appointment after school, and a general phobia of doctors' offices. The next class, I had she spoke to me all class, and I admit, I developed a bit of crush on her. She had long, brown silky hair, malachite green eyes, a button nose and sharp cheekbones, not to mention her red rosy lips. For the sake of the story, we'll call her Darissa. She was f***ed in the head though. The closer I got to her, the more I understood. She believed that aliens contacted her when she was a child in bed one night and spoke to her through the ceiling lights. 100% believed in aliens. Always talked about how they were going to take her to their planet, which she sees in her dreams every night. Had emotional breakdowns a few times a year and would disappear for a week and return to school. She told us she'd get angry and upset and cut herself / try to overdose on pills, and her parents would send her to a clinic to treat her for mental health. Bipolar as fuck. Would recover from these violent, intense mood swings. The thing is, none of us knew if Darissa was lying or not, because she said so many things, and some of them were so elaborate and creative and nonsensical that it was hard to believe that it happened at all, but the level of details in her stories were just incredible. One of our friends insulted her and called her ugly and weird and annoying. He was a bit of a man-child and a gamer, but had no patience with a crazy bitch like her, probably because she friend-zoned him. She put laxatives in his drink the next day and only told me about it. We used to hang out at a forest near our school every day after the school day was over. She loved it. She was the one who took me and my friends in the first place and showed us the special spot in the middle of the forest near a passage of running water and a little bridge in a small cave in a rock formation nearby, where she would hide a small chest, usually with alcohol, cigarettes and drugs. We did so many there. I had my first puff of cigarette, and had all my first weed highs and drunk evenings there. I also had my first kiss there. Not with Darissa, but with my first GF at the time. Very special and sacred place to all of us. One day, we went to the forest because Darissa had something special to show us and was teasing us all day. Inside the hidden chest was a bag of magic mushrooms. We took them that afternoon and tripped out, but Darissa went to the next level of insanity. She would do that sometimes. We all tried to go back to our friend Josh's house because his parents were out that night, but we got lost in the woods, and we all freaked out, except for Darissa, who laughed maniacally like she planned this whole event we were falling into a murderous trap. I remember her telling me she took the mushrooms by herself one day after school and got lost on her way home because she got too high and wandered into a graveyard and thought zombie hands were coming out the ground and grabbing her to pull her in. One time we smoked some hash a friend brought into the forest. Darissa got too high and greened out, throwing up all over the ground. She thought she had a fit of intense laughter, telling us between laughs that her thick European accent that a vomit pile looked like Jupiter, and she threw up and gave birth to the planet. We were hanging out at the mall after school one day, and Darissa took me into an elevator where we screamed as loud as we could as the doors opened to a new floor, and we would stop and act normal. She loved prank calling people, but sometimes would laugh hysterically and never even get through the first sentence. I kept better composure, but she would think of these elaborate, dumb prank call ideas and would make me do them while she was pissing herself quietly. She drew heaps of dark, creepy art, painted and also designed t-shirts with demented creatures on them. She loved that weird, creepy shit so much. One time, we got drunk after class. When all of our friends left to go home and night filled the sky, she took me to one of her special spots. She had numerous special spots, and I literally have no idea how she found them. It was this huge mountainous hill that overlooked the entire town, and also another town on the other side of the mountain. The spot took ages to get there, but there were 3 chairs there. I don't know how this teenage girl had all these special cool secret spots all over the town. I guess she spent a lot of her free time biking around, cause she was a loner. She also wrote poems for people, sometimes gave me notes that had these poems on them that were sometimes beautiful, sometimes dark and creepy, and sometimes funny nonsense. I regret not embracing her as a friend, but the world of high school can be tough. Hormones and insecurities filled me, and I was always a little apprehensive about hanging out in public with Darissa. We hung out a lot, but I just wish I stopped caring about what other people thought and just had a good time. That's what she taught me, to stop giving a fuck about what other people thought and just enjoy life. Bit of a manic pixie dream girl, But she was also mentally insane, so she was never going to be a lifelong stable friend. But she was also my best friend, and I wish I could have had her around for the rest of my life. She was emotionally unstable, but in a very inspiring way that I guess I just felt a lot. She felt things so much stronger and more intensely than anyone else. She would get angry, cry, have hysterical laughing fit, and return to normal in the span of a few minutes. I got loads of stories of Darissa, but essentially, she was one of my only friends in high school that happened to be the weird kid of our year level. No one bullied her because she was too hot, but people made fun of her behind her back, and made fun of me for hanging around her. But that was coming from a sexually frustrated jocks. I also forgot, but Darissa used to send me letters, once in a blue moon. Usually, there weren't stories detailing me about her life. Rather, they were clearly made up stories about things that never happened to her. I found a letter with my name written backwards on it. Mum is suspicious, and wants to read it when I'm done, but I tell her to piss off. Inside is a pastel pink page with a story on it, detailing Darissa's Sunday, in which she went for a walk and came across a lake, where she watched a fisherman fall out of his boat and drown. She wrote a love poem to me at the bottom, with my name in a love heart and a bunch of creepy drawings surrounded the edges of the page. On the back was this demented portrait of me with ants coming out my nose, and one of my eyes melting and blood coming out my mouth. I shit you not, this is what I had to deal with being friends with her. I think I tolerated her the most though, because I was a loner and socially awkward, and having this manic pixie dream girl of a friend giving me attention made me feel nice, even if I had to occasionally deal with their manic episodes. Got in trouble for getting to class late, and had to go to detention after school. Somehow Darissa didn't get in trouble. Had to give my edible chocolate bar to someone else during my detention. She gave it to Darissa between morning classes. Tell her not to eat it because it's mine. At lunch, Darissa was acting goofier than usual, like she's stoned. I asked for my edible back. She bursts into an uncontrollable laughter and tells me she ate it before class. She says it's starting to kick in and it's crazy. I tell her that the edible chocolate bar was double strength and super intense, but it's too late, she ate it all. For the record, I had a third, even a quarter at a time. Not a seasoned stoner, but neither was Darissa. We try to take care of her during lunch as she starts to act like a stoned train wreck, and we don't want the teacher's attention. She ended up getting so high that she walked into the wrong class after lunch. Sat there for 10 minutes before leaving to the bathroom, where she threw up and smoked the cigarette that one of the smoker girls offered her. Threw up violently a few times, snuck out of school and ran away to the woods. Found her there after detention. She didn't make it to the secret spot, so she got high and sat down against a tree. She was crying and looked terrified. Spent the whole evening taking care of her. Night comes. She's too high to go home to her parents, so I decide to take her back to mine and sneak her into my bedroom to hide for the night. She begins passing out on the walk back, and I have to drag her. On my street corner, I slap her face a few times to wake her up. As I sneak her into my bedroom through the window, my mum comes into my room through the door. She sees what's going on and shit hits the fan. Eventually convinced my mum that my friend is drunk and that I'm sparing her from the wrath of her parents and also keeping an eye on her for the night. Parents make her sleep on the couch. She literally passes out at like 8 PM and I have to wake her up the next morning by slapping her face. She wakes up confused about her whereabouts with little memory of the previous day.
G'day cunts, Green here. Now if you haven't noticed, YouTube is doing me a real fucking dirty nowadays, and it's gotten so bad to the point where everything that I upload is now being demonetized, and if I want anything to be monetized, it has to go through the whole fucking review process. Which, as you might have noticed, has very much stunted the growth of my channel, because those great YouTube god algorithms very much so want those 10-minute plus videos that are monetized, and those other lesser under 10-minute videos that aren't monetized can go fuck off. I mean, what more proof do you need here than my entire 2-hour compilation getting less views than a 10-minute video in 24 hours? I mean, for fuck's sake, come on! So, if you're a sick cunt and would like to support me, please consider checking out my merch store! That's right, I'm fucking selling out, boys! There's some honestly cool stuff in there that kind of borders between being a meme and actually looking pretty cool that I'd honestly wear myself. I don't have any on at the moment, I've got someone else's merch on that I'm realizing now. Also, if you'd like to support me, Patreon's also a great way of doing that. You get some exclusive perks and rewards. And as well, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Please consider also subscribing, liking the video, because that also helps the YouTube algorithm probably somehow. And also, it probably just helps in general because I've been losing subs. Yeah, that's it. Catch you later, cunts, and ta-ta!